Okay, everybody, we are back. So, we talked about updos in the last video, or in one of the videos that you watched anyway. This updo, same thing. It's beautiful, beautifully put together, and the best way, again, to see how it's constructed is to take it apart. And you'll notice a theme in kind of how these are done. I'm just going to start to unpin here. And when I say you'll notice a theme, we've got front hair to work with. And that is one of my favorite ways to do an updo. Leave out these front pieces so that you have something to work with and create a look around the face. Very, very similar to the last updo in construction, but very different in how they looked and how they appear. So that's one thing to really take into consideration, is that even if you have the same pattern or the same path for creating an updo, you can make them look very different. This one's a bit more soft and romantic. The other one was a bit more loose and kind of almost looked like the client could have done it themselves, but not quite. Where this one was clearly done at a salon. So as you see that I'm unpinning, we have got the front pieces that are taken down and used in the back of the updo to create more of a full look in the front and the sides. And again, it was pinned really well because we want to think about the longevity and the last durability for the updo for the client, because they're going to be dancing and doing all kinds of fun head movements, and we want to make sure it's going to last. So as you can see, we've got the back of the head where we used and constructed all of this curl, and the front where we've got that to play with so that we can create more texture. Texture is really in right now, and you can see when I get this out of the way, this is actually really neat. The stylist pulled this top piece and lapped it over one of the other pieces. Again, that's how they got a different look. And we can kind of play with that when we put it back together too. So look at all this side hair that I'm pulling out. There's so much that you can add to an updo by actually using this side hair to make a different look. And in fact, as I'm going along, I think what I'm going to do is show you how we can take this updo and make it look completely different just by changing the sides. And this is one of the things that I think works really well when you've done an updo, you've put your heart and soul into it, and the client says, oh, I'm just not in love with it. That's really hard for us as artists to handle. But here's something. So like, say the client says, oh, I love the back, I just wasn't sure about the front, it was too loose, or I feel like my face looks better when it's swooped down on my face. We can make all of those changes just simply by changing these front hairs. Now, and remember, this was one where she overlapped it. She pulled this piece back and then pulled this down. Say that this client typically wears bangs, and all of a sudden we've got an updo that pulls everything back, and they're like, oh, you know, I just feel naked because I often wear bangs. Great. Then let's take this piece that we know we can swoop down and give them sort of a bang. Let's pull that out and make sure that we use that last. And instead of going straight back with it, we're going to take these top pieces and go down. And you'll see how that'll create more of a bang for them in an updo. And it's always hard, like someone says, I want an updo, but I want fringe. Well, that's difficult, but here's one way to do it. So again, we often go back with this stuff. Take these side hairs and go down. That maybe they want their ear covered. If you go down, you can, I'm gonna repin that. That didn't go the way I liked it. And here's why. When I put the pin in, I only grabbed half of the hair and I left this out, and that's what caused that little droop there. So when you get these pieces, make sure you get the whole piece in there. Now I've got control over that. And then you can just bring that to where you want. I'm gonna go down, around, and I'm gonna pin it in so that we've got the client's ear covered. Maybe that's one of their issues. And it's really important to make sure that the client is comfortable with the look that they've got going on, because it can be the most beautiful updo in the world. And if they're not comfortable and pulling on their hair or wanting to change it the minute they've left the salon, then we've kind of failed in what we're doing, because they're going to be out all night. People are going to say your updo is beautiful. They're going to be pulling on it and saying, well, yeah, but, and we don't want that to happen for our work. We want them to say, yeah, I know, I love it and I feel so comfortable. And oh, by the way, it was done at your salon. So there, we're pulling that down. We're just getting a different look. Again, with the hairpins, we'll be able to spread some of this out and get even a more full look if you're just not happy with something you like. A hairpin is almost like an eraser, you guys. You just spread this hair out. If you want, use a comb. I like to use my fingers because I feel like I get more control. But I can spread that out, and then I can just decide that I want a hairpin to go right in here. And I'm gonna weave that in and out to hold that. And that's gonna hold that really nicely. And then you can just, you know, get rid of this piece that's straggling in the back. So now we've got that look. If I pull these side, this front hair, this was again where it was going back. Remember with the original updo, she had this going back and this coming down. That's super cool, because what we can do is cover, like I would call this a hole. I don't like that transformation from this piece to that piece. Nothing wrong with it, some people do, but you've got now another piece of hair that you can decide you want to change or cover or make look different in the updo. So again, I'm going to take and kind of smooth this piece out. And if it's not laying exactly how you want it to lay, just use a little bit of hairspray or a gel, or even a taffy works really good for that. And I'm going to figure out where I want that, how I want it to look. I want to cover this little bit back here, and I'm just going to pin that in. Then I've got that piece there, and I can, again, not curling all of the hair, but just the portions that are sticking out. Saves you time, saves the heat on the client's hair, saves all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to use a pin in this case, a bobby pin, and I'm going to put my bobby pin through that curl, and I'm going to twist and twist and twist, and then I'm going to find that area that I don't like, and I'm going to pin it right there. And you can pull this apart for more fullness. You can leave that hang, that looks really cool, or you can pin it up. And again, I'm going to use a hairpin, and I'm going to weave back and forth. And then I've just filled that space. And of course, we'll hide this pin with something else a little bit later. If you were done with the updo and you found that that was the only piece that was sticking out and you didn't like it, hairpin magic. Get a hairpin, grab that piece, and hide that. You see what I did there? So now we've got that nice smooth transition in the front, and we know that this client's gonna feel a little bit more comfortable with bangs. So because this is her bang area, fringe area that's gonna be shown to everybody, we want to make sure that it's nice and smooth. You don't necessarily have to take that much time in back, but in the front, where everybody's going to see it, you need to make sure that every hair is smooth and where you want it. So we can twist it and bring it down even further and create more of a bang, or we can pull it straight down and have a clean sweep across her face, or you can do something like this, which happens to be my favorite for this particular look, where we've created sort of a fringe for this updo. And then we've also got really cool texture. And you go, well, that looks great, but what are you gonna do with this piece? Again, you can curl it because it's just the piece that's sticking out. And we've created a nice texture look. We've got the client some bangs so that they're not feeling naked, because that's what they're used to. And then you find a hairpin that I'm out of, but that's okay. We're gonna use a bobby pin. Use what you've got. And we're gonna put that right there, and then you can just pull. You know, just pull until you get it the way you want it to look. And that looks gorgeous. So you've got nice smooth, the client's got a bang kind of covering their face. We've got some texture. And then on the other side, you can do, again, the same thing. Now in this case, what I'm gonna do, because I love the smoothness on this side, and I love the way it's wrapped around, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna create some smoothness here. We're gonna smooth out the whole updo just by using these front pieces. So I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna comb. Comb this piece. Best way to make it smooth is to not have snarls. And we're always